Hi, and welcome to day 5 of Intro to Trig Part 2. Just a reminder from yesterday, sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, cosine theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, cosecant theta is equal to hypotenuse over opposite, secant theta is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent, and cotangent theta is equal to adjacent over opposite. So we're going to use a 30, 60, 90 triangle to obtain a value for the following. So 1, radical 3, and 2. So the sine of 30 is opposite over hypotenuse, which is 1/2. Cosine of 60 is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 1/2. Tan of 30 is opposite over adjacent, so we get 1 over radical 3, which rationalizes to radical 3 over 3. Cotangent of 60 is adjacent over opposite, so it's 1 over radical 3, which again simplifies to radical 3 over 3. Secant of 30, secant is hypotenuse over adjacent, so it's 2 over 1, which is just, 60 is just 2. And cosecant of 30 is hypotenuse over opposite, and that is also 2. Cofunctions are angles that are complementary, which means they add up to 90 degrees. The prefix co allows us to easily identify the pairs of functions that are cofunctions. So for example, we have sine and cosine. If you look at it, it's just the sine with the co in front of it. We have tangent and cotangent. Just the co in front of it. And then we have secant and cosecant. I don't know if you noticed that before when you saw them written down, but it's a sine with a co, meaning they are complementary angles. And if you look back up here on the top, 30 plus 60 is 90, and all of them. So both of my angles have to add up to 90 degrees. Since the angles are complementary, the sine of A is equal to the cosine of 90 minus A. Or you could say the cosine of A is equal to the sine of 90 minus A. So the tangent of A is equal to the cotangent of 90 minus A, or the cotangent is equal to the tangent of 90 minus A. Secant is equal to the cosecant of 90 minus A, or the cosecant of A is equal to the secant of 90 minus A. The 90 minus A doesn't change, it's just their pair, it's their cofunctions, their partners. So what do we use this for? Well, we use this to express the following as a function of an acute angle, which we've done before. The key here is less than 45 degrees. That's huge. Before we were finding acute angles that were less than 90 degrees, and those were reference angles. This goes a step farther, and we have to have them less than 45 degrees. So the tangent of 72 is equal to the cotangent of 90 minus 72, and that would be 18. And since I'm in quadrant 1, everything's positive in quadrant 1. I don't have to worry about changing any of my signs. The cosine of 63 degrees 50 minutes would be equal to the sine of 90 minus 60 degrees 50 minutes. So that would be the sine of 26 degrees 10 minutes. Now if you don't remember how to do that, because they have to add up to 90, and I need to borrow 1 whole minute, I'd have 80 or 1 whole degree, so it'd be 89 degrees, 60 minutes minus 63 degrees, 50 minutes. So you subtract, you have 10 minutes, and you get 26 degrees. So that's where I came up with that number from. Cotangent of 95 degrees. Well, that puts me in quadrant 2. Okay. So what I need to do is find my reference angle. Find the reference angle first. So I'm going to do 180 minus 95. 180 minus 95 is 85. And I'm in quadrant 2, so cotangent is negative. So this is equivalent to a negative cotan of 85 degrees. Now I can find my cofunction. So find my reference angle first, and then find my, so 1, and then 2 would be find the cofunction. So this would be equal to a negative tan of 90 minus the 5. So it's a negative tan of 5 degrees. I keep it negative because tangent is also negative in quadrant 2. So the cosecant of 490 degrees. Well, for this one, we have to find my coterminal angle. Then find the reference angle. Then the cofunction. So my coterminal angle. So 490 all the way around once 360. So 490 minus 360 gives me 130. 130 puts me in quadrant 2. So to find my reference angle, I do 180 minus 130, which gives me 50. Okay, so going back to the original problem, this would be equal to the cosecant of 130 degrees, because that's what I found my coterminal angle. I'm in quadrant 2. Cosecant is positive in quadrant 2, just like sine. So this is equivalent to the cosecant, that's cosine, let's try this again, cosecant of 50 degrees. Now that's not less than 45, so now I have to find my cofunction. I'm still in quadrant 2. Okay, my original problem was in quadrant 2. So that means that this would be equal to a negative secant of 90 minus 50. So it's a negative secant of 40 degrees. Number 5, we're going to follow the same steps as we did before. A sine of negative 100. We're going to go backwards, and 100 degrees puts me in quadrant 3. So it is 360 minus 100, which is 260. So this is equivalent to the sine of 260. Now I have to find my reference angle, which would be 260 minus 180, which is 80. And in quadrant 3, sine is negative, so it's a negative sine of 80. And that would be equal to a negative cosine of 90 minus 80. And cosine will still be negative in quadrant 3, so we leave it negative. It's a negative cosine of 10 degrees. So there's a lot going on in those problems. First, you have to find a coterminal angle if you need it. Then you need to find your reference angle, and then you need to find your cofunction. Your cofunction is your angle less than 45 degrees. If your angle is not less than 45 degrees, then you did not find the cofunction. Okay, after that being complicated, these are really, really, really easy. Anytime you have a problem like this and you have two cofunctions in an equation, we said the angles were complementary, so we take the angles and add them up to 90. So I'm literally going to say that theta plus 5 theta is equal to 90. So it means 6 theta equals 90. Divide by 6, so theta is equal to 15 degrees. Cosecant and secant are cofunctions. Just take my angles, theta plus 5 plus 2 theta minus 20 equals 90. So I have 3 theta minus 15 equals 90. So 3 theta is equal to 105. Divide by 3. So theta is equal to 35 degrees. Those are real easy questions. All right, that's it for cofunctions. Remember, cofunctions are an angle that measures less than 45 degrees.